Out here, everything depends on timing, weather, and the choices farmers make. I'm Kellen Havikin with Brownfield Ag News in Oakland, Nebraska, in the heart of the Great Plains, where Helena Agri-Services work alongside farmers and ranchers to deliver real solutions. My day started just like their agronomy teams, in the truck, on the way to see one of their farmer customers in the field. I'm riding along with Craig to learn more about how they keep farmers going.
I've been with Helena just about 8 years, product manager the whole time, and I get the, extreme honor to work with all of our locations across eastern Nebraska, eastern Kansas.
So tell me, what are maybe some of the new products that Helena, whether it's this growing season or that's been relatively new to the market, that farmers are going or have been using?
Yeah, we're really excited. This is our first full market year to launch a new adjuvant called Cohort. Adjuvants is just a core technology to Helena, and Cohort's just the latest in the long line of innovation for our adjuvant lineup. Cohort was really born out of the idea that we needed something to maximize the control of glufosinate-based herbicide. Quickly, glufosinate is becoming a lot of our growers' primary option as far as post-weed control, especially in soybeans.
I know that we're going to Quentin's farm, and at some point it's going to be a part of his weed management program. Tell me, what makes Cohort special? What makes it different than the rest of the market?
Yep. So the rest of the market completely relies on AMS, which is ammonium sulfate, to help activate their glufosinate. What we rely on is a completely different technology to help get that glufosinate as active as possible, help drive it into the plant, drive it into the tank. We need to be sure we're using a product like Cohort that helps keep glufosinate as active and has the longevity as we possibly can get. The magic behind Cohort is that we're seeing not equal to control, though, to what people are traditionally doing with AMS, but we're seeing a statistically significant increase in control. And we've proved that out through 3 years worth of data. We really like to hang our hat on years and years worth of data and lots of positive experience before we even think about launching it to farmers.
You know, in your area that you mentioned that you cover, I mean, there's been some significant drought over the last several years. And you think about products, how those two relationships kind of coming together in terms of helping predict those types of products for farmers.
Yeah. When we look at drought, there's a lot of different things we can do to manage. From a product mix, we've actually had the experience of launching about 3 years ago a really unique product called Resgenix. And Resgenix actually conditions the soil to help make it as water efficient as possible. We have been doing trials, lots of data and research, and what we're seeing is, right around a 20 to 25% increase in water use efficiency. I've always said the people of the state are our greatest resource, but kind of the second greatest natural resource right behind that is the water that sits below our feet, because we sit on the world's largest aquifer. So a tool to help the greatest resource manage the second greatest resource.
How does Helena approach the availability and the cost of products like this so farmers can A, have it available, but B, also get it at a price that still gives them an opportunity to help their bottom line in the fall get fruit?
One of the other stipulations that we have is we have to have a significant return on investment for us to bring something forward to growers. So our minimum that we usually shoot for is a 3-to-1 return on investment. So that means anything that we position with a grower from a Helena product standpoint, we want to put $3 in his pocket for any $1 that he's going to invest with us. Our goal is to help growers cut through the clutter, and we want to have our growers have the lowest cost per bushel they possibly can. And that's our whole goal, is to bring our growers products, tools, solutions, ideas that are going to help them have the lowest cost per bushel they possibly can.
From your expertise, when you look at the rest of the growing season, maybe what are, as a concern or thing that you're really paying attention to as the summer unfolds?
Moisture management and continuing to get good timely rains is going to be key. Not a lot we can do to control that, but we can help put the crop in the best position to take advantage of that moisture when it gets there. What we spend our time on a lot at Helena, while we know we have to control diseases, we know we have to control pests, insects, and weeds, we like to focus on how do we grow that biggest crop, because once we take care of all the pests, you still need the right amount of plant nutrition in the right place at the right time. And that's a big piece of what we're trying to help growers manage, is making sure that plant has everything it needs. So when it does get a moisture event, it's as successful as it possibly can be.
To see the relationship in action, Craig and I met with Helena agronomist Spencer Breckenridge and grower Quentin Keneally. As you can see, it rained, so I was unable to get in the tractor, but had the opportunity to learn more about the value of working together as a team. Quentin, give us an overview. How long have you been farming, and give us the history behind it?
Officially started farming about 2010, so this is probably about my 15th crop. So we're about irrigated corn and soybeans here on the east side of Nebraska.
And give us a range of how many acres you typically farm.
We're about 5,000 acres, all in the river bottoms, and we're about 60% irrigated.
When you looked at corn soybean acres for this year, how did that ratio balance out?
I think we can make a lot better corn down here. So beans is a tough one, but with the drought talk this year, I did do a little more beans than I thought I would. So our rotation is about 50-50, and I think we stayed on with our plan.
When you look at the 2025 crop here, what's kind of maybe your top one or two concerns?
Tariff and markets, and then just fertilizer prices, watching that a little bit, even though we got a majority of it on now. We're sitting pretty good, and then we variable rate a lot of fertilizer, so we're finding out ways to make it more efficient on the farm.
How long have you been using Helena products?
I think this is probably fourth, fifth year. So then just kind of progressively gain more and more as our technology advances. Sound like just conversations with these guys. They've been doing it 10 or 12 years with some of the Helena Acre programs, and that gets on with my level and the capabilities of variable rate fertilizer and planting out here. So
When you're looking at that, at doing a tissue test, doing soil test, all that precision ag, how critical is that, do you think, to maximizing that fertilizer investment?
it's huge because, fertilizer is one of our main inputs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it still costs so much, and if we're using it efficiently out here, especially if we can study where our water's sitting and what acres are better and worse, we can figure out where to put those to help our farm.
Absolutely.
So we're not really chasing yield anymore. We're kind of chasing ROI.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was kind of my next question. You talked about markets and tariffs. That creates the uncertainty. So how does the Helena product or products help you improve that bottom line when you think of your margins year in and year out?
Yeah, it's kind of a fine line we walk between efficiency and yield. So it's kind of a fine line. And these guys are the agronomic guys that are study that. And I'm just out here. I get to play in the dirt and have the fun stuff. So I got smart people behind me, and then just keep adding my team. And we watch irrigation, we watch finance, banking, with all the ag tech stuff coming out. It's just like a total team effort to maximize efficiencies coming through here.
Yeah, I'm curious. Talk about that approach from the grower to the Helena team, from prior to planting season to harvest season. Talk about what does that look like altogether, working with the products and evaluation over the year.
Well, shoot, yeah, we started last harvest. Once we get the last year's crops off, they start gathering our yield data. And then after that, get it all in the system. And then it's a lot of sitting down over the winter and then fine tuning those acres to see where the fertilizer was, where it needs put, and plan the spring, planting seed rotations. It actually never stops, really. It just starts over.
Yeah, once the crop comes out in the fall, it already starts again with soil samples and making sure we get variable rate dry recommendations out there, and that gets spread so they can work ground in a timely fashion. And then all winter is just kind of planning, what the next step is, where we're going to plant what hybrids we're going to put somewhere, and maybe what our populations are going to be on our variable rate seeding stuff. And then as fields get planted, they get sprayed. And as we get further into post, this stuff's starting to come up. Then it's all about just making sure things get sprayed in a timely fashion. Then, keeping weeds and other diseases or potential nutrient deficiencies at bay too.
Glad to be part of the team and have you guys, Helena, here with me. It's been fun.
Yeah, the other thing I think that stood out to me was the relationship Quentin has with Spencer, and that's not just a growing season from planting to harvest, or right. It sounds like that they've spent a lot of time working together. Talk about the relationship piece of this business, why that's so important, how you're seeing that come through with a grower like Quentin.
He brings us on from an agronomic standpoint because that's all we focus on. Yes, folks that work on the technology side, also folks that are on the finance side. Really, that relationship with Spencer is we want to be an asset, and Spencer wants to be an asset to not only Quinn but the rest of his customers as well, where we're as invested in their success as they are themselves. That relationship has to be a lot of trust and a lot of foresight, because we want Quentin and all of our customers to be successful, not just in 2025, but in 2035 and 2045 and for years to come after that. So the relationship is key to understanding their goals and how do we help them get where they want to be.
With the visit wrapped up, we headed back to Helena's Oakland location to talk next steps and learn more about the use of data with Lauren Anderson, Helena's agri-intelligence technician, as she walked me through the tissue sampling process.
Let's talk about agri-intelligence. Maybe before we get into the specifics, give me the background. What is agri-intelligence and what's its goal and how it helps farmers?
Agri-intelligence is kind of like an added benefit. So we do soil sampling, and then we move into the ask, which is the fertilizer recommendations. And then I also do prescription planting for guys, and that's all based off of our soil samples as well as their yield data, their past yield data. And then we move into tissue sampling, and then on point, which is just keeping track of all the data for the grower.
Maybe where do you see this space headed next?
It's evolved a lot since I've been here. Dee started with a different program completely. And since I've been here, Helena has built their own website and their own platform that we use, which is called AI 360. And in that program, we have all of our field boundaries. We keep all of our soil sampling.
How does that program help meet those goals for producers?
It shows where they are, like nutrient deficiencies in the tissue samples. It shows the fertility in the soil sampling, so we can use our products to fill those gaps. We really try to do what's best for the grower, and then we can put their money where it's going to be most profitable for them.
And last but not least, I had to catch up with Spencer so he could give me a tour of the location.
At the Oakland location, just give us an overview. What are the products and services that are offered here?
Sure. So Oakland is a full service retail. So we have everything from custom application, fertilizer, chemicals, seeds, lots of HPG, things like that. So if you need it, we probably have a service for it.
And it sounds like it's a little runs in the family working for Helena. Your dad also is a part of the company, correct?
Yes, my dad does work for Helena. He works over in the Des Moines office buying fertilizer.
Well, let's talk a little bit about fertilizer real quick.
It is tight, and I think there's multiple different reasons why. And we're just kind of doing the best we can. And as loads become available, we be sure to jump on them and take them.
Any Helena products that you guys have used that you've seen some really, really good success with that maybe we haven't talked about?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of liquid hydrohume. I use that especially with all my pre in the 32 that goes out in the spring. It works as somewhat of a nitrogen protector, keeps it from leaching, keeps it from evaporating. Another one that's continually worked well for Oakland is Coron. We go through quite a bit of it, and just adding that into our post program and planning for it from the start is always a good way for success.
So as we think about the rest of the growing season, maybe what's a concern thing that you're really going to be paying attention to and talking with growers about?
I think every year weed control gets harder and harder, so that's one that's always a focus. Besides that, it's just overall fertility and crop health and things like that.
Out here in Northeast Nebraska, it takes more than hard work to make a farm succeed. It takes the right people in your corner, and that's exactly what Helena Agri Enterprises brings to the table. I saw it firsthand today. It's clear they're not just offering products. They show up, they get their hands dirty, and they help local farmers get the job done right.